What's going on, everybody? This is Norm from the Board Game Museum, and today I'm going to be showing you my top 50 vintage card games of all time. Now, these are card games that I have played, or I have played with my wife. They're not going to include games that I have not played, and there are certain games that I'm sure would make the list if I had them, but since I don't, I'm only going to go with what I have. Some of these games are still in print today and have been around for a very, very long time. Most of these are going to be out of print. So let's go ahead and get started. Number 50 on the list is a card game called Stun. Now, this is a press your luck type of game, and it's very simple. What you're trying to do is you're going to be drawing cards that are going to have coins on them, and you're trying to amass as many coins as you can. What you're going to do is you're going to try to get 15 coins, and then after that, you're going to try to get another 15 coins. You're going to try to do this 4 times. Now, if you draw the dreaded Stun card before you stop, you're going to end up losing all of your coins. So it's a basic press your luck game, but it's a game that I like and my wife likes. Not very complicated. It's a good game to play as a filler, and it's really easy to learn. So number 50 is Stun. Number 49 is a card game called Baja. Now, this is a simple little trick-taking game, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid getting the bull cards. And the bull cards are like some of the higher numbered cards, and they have one bull, one has 2, one has 3, and you're trying to avoid getting those cards. So it's a simple trick-taking game that has that little element of hearts to it as well. You know, in hearts, you're trying not to get hearts unless you're trying to shoot the moon, which means you're trying to get all the hearts. So this is a variant of hearts, but it's a little bit different. This is a game we don't pull out that often, but I like the card game somewhat. It's good enough to make the number 49 list, but again, this isn't a game we play much, and you can also just simply play hearts if you want to get the experience. So I'll give number 49 to Baja. Number 48 is a old 3M bookshelf game called Foyle. Now, this is a game that uses letters on their cards, and what you're going to do first is you're going to spell out words using the cards and score points, and then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to scramble up your words and then reveal the scrambled words to your opponents, and they're going to do the same. What you're going to try to do is you're going to try to unscramble your opponent's words, and they're going to try to do the same with yours in a set amount of time. This game has a lot of unique ways to score, probably about 6 or 7 different ways, I think. And this is a game that can be a brain burner at times. This is probably not a game for everyone. If you're looking for a relaxing game, this probably would not be one that you want to bring out on a night when you want to relax. But if you're looking for a game that's challenging and does challenge your mind, I would definitely recommend Foyle. So that is my number 48. Number 47 is a card game not well known. It comes from Fundex, and this is a card game called Arnie. Now, Arnie is named after the person that made the game, which tells me he's got a bit of an ego problem. But anyway, the base of this game is you've got white cards and you've got black cards. White cards are cards that have point values on them, or they have multipliers, and what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to play cards of your color on your side to try to score the points and also play the multipliers. Now, the black cards you can play at any time. There's cards that will steal your opponent's cards, others that will change the color of one of your opponent's cards so they won't be able to score with it. There's also some that will protect you if your opponent tries to zero out one of your cards. So this is a game that's back and forth. It's kind of like maybe having 2 games in one of sorts. This game didn't really rank that high, and I don't think it's very well known. My wife and I will pull it out here and there sometimes, and it's a game we enjoy. I mean, it's different, and I think that's probably why I have it listed as number 47 on my card game list. Number 46 is a card game we just recently got, and that's the Mad Magazine card game. Now, if you know how to play Crazy Eights or Uno, you're automatically going to know how to play Mad. It's very, very similar. Really, the only differences are some of the action cards. There is a card, I believe it's the Joker, that if you have the Joker and you have 3 cards left in your hand, you can play the Joker and then you'll be able to go out no matter what those 3 cards are. They have different action cards than in Uno, and I like the action cards. They're rather unique. I can't remember offhand what they are, but I know that they're different and they're rather wacky in cases. That's just, you know, pretty much what Mad Magazine is all about anyway. But if you like Crazy Eights and Uno, I think you would like Mad Magazine, the card game. So that is my number 46. Number 45 is a card capture game called Vantage. This comes from the makers of Uno, and this is an 80s game. If you've ever played capture games like Casino, what you'll have are some cards in the middle, and you've got cards in your hand that you're going to try to use to capture the cards in the middle to score points. And the way you can do that is if you have an 8 in the middle, for example, and you have an 8 in your hand, you can play the 8 and then capture the 8. Or if there's 2 4s in there, you can use the 8 to capture the 2 4s, etc. There's a number of different ways that you can capture cards in this game. Now, Now, this game also has some other cards that are set to the side that are going to affect the cards in the middle, or it might affect you. There's one card that says Blackout. If you turn that card over, any of the cards that are in the middle, you're going to have to turn over, and then you're going to have to use your memory to try to remember which cards are what. So it can be rather challenging. Of course, there's cards that will bring it back face up. There's a card that will tell you have to lose a card into the middle. And there's a lot of different ways you can score in this game. You'll score points based on the color cards you capture. There's certain cards labeled big. You'll score for those. You'll score for the wild cards. So there's a lot of different ways you can score in this game, which I like. This is not a game that's not really that well known, but I like it. Pretty cool game. Number 45, Vantage. Number 44 is a game based on a classic called I Doubt It, and this game is called Gotcha, also known as BS. This is a bluffing game, and the gist of this game is you're going to deal out all the cards, or a certain amount of cards, and then the first player will dump out all of his ones, or if he wants, he can dump out his ones, his twos, and then pretend to say that they're ones in hopes that nobody is going to bust them. And then the next player will throw out his twos and his threes, etc. This is a classic bluffing game. This game does have a couple of extra things. I think it has some wild cards in there as well that you can use that change the game up from the original I Doubt It. I would rank this game a little higher. It's a lot of fun, but I think the idea is just a little bit unoriginal. They just basically took a game and just remade it. But it's still a fun game though. So I would give Gotcha number 44. Number 43 is a game that I had as a kid, and it is called Oh No 99. Very cool little game. This is a game where you are trying to play cards in a running total in the middle of the board, trying not to get 99 points. You're trying to keep it under 99. So you've got like a 10 that you'll play, and then your opponent will play another 10 on that to make the running total 20, etc. So you just be going up. Now this game has some pretty cool cards too that can mess your opponent up. One is a double play, which means he's going to have to play 2 cards. So if you have like 98 points and you play that double play card, that's going to be hard for him to meet. There's also a negative 10 card, and basically you're just going to keep playing until somebody ends up winning the game 3 times. Very simple game, fun little game. It's a game my wife and I enjoy. Number 43. Number 42 is a game called Five Alive. Now there's a few games that I have that play a lot like Five Alive. Sorry Revenge is one of them. And this is another game that has a running total on it, and you're trying to avoid busting. Now you've got 5 cards set in front of you, one A, one L, one I that spells alive, and anytime you bust, you're going to have to turn over one of those cards, and you're trying your best not to turn over the entire alive set. This game again plays very similar to Ono 99. It just has some more different types of action cards that you can play. It has reverse, and it has 0 cards and things of that nature. So there are a lot of games out there like this, but it's a good game. So that is our number 42, Five Alive. Number 41 is a game called Rock. This is a fun game. It's a lot of laughs with this game. This is a game based on rock, paper, scissors. You've got cards that have rocks and papers and scissors on them, and you're going to basically deal 2 cards out in the middle, and then the 2 people who are playing are going to slap at the card that is the most powerful. So if you have a rock and a paper showing, then you're going to try to slap for paper. But what makes the game funny is that so many times people are going to hit the wrong card, and that's always hilarious. Sometimes you'll have 2 papers and someone will slap at the paper, but they're going to end up losing both those cards to their opponent because paper does not beat paper. Very fun game, just based off such a simple idea, but the game is just hilarious to play. Very simple to learn as well. Definitely recommend it. So that is my number 41 game, Rock. Number 40 is a game called Free Parking. This is based off Monopoly, sort of, but it plays nothing like Monopoly. The object of this game is you're trying to get a certain amount of predetermined points by first feeding your meter with little change cards. You have a little meter that's going to move up when you feed it. So if you give it like 60 minutes or something like that, your meter's going to go up to 60 minutes. And then you have cards that have little different actions on them. Say, take a trip to the mall or something. I don't know if that's there, but let's just say that was there and it had the number 40 on there. That means it takes 40 minutes to go to the mall. So if you have 60 points in your meter, you'll be able to play the 40, and then you'll drop your meter down to 20. So you've got that little balance where you're trying to get enough change for your meter and then playing those cards. Now there's also some orange cards that you can draw if you choose choose to, and they're risk and reward. Sometimes you'll end up getting your meter filled. Sometimes you'll end up losing all of the change in your meter. Other times you'll lose a card. Sometimes you'll have to trade places. But again, this is totally optional, but definitely a very fun game. Just gives you a couple of choices that you have to think about what you want to do to score points, and it's rather fun. So number 40, free parking. Number 39 is a 3M gamette game called Trice. This is a rummy style game, and basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to score the most amount of points playing different types of rounds, and I believe there's about 7 or so. But this game has numbers and letters. You have like a standard deck of cards, but there's letters on them as well. So the way you can play it is you can try to spell certain words, or you can try to play runs or sets like you would in rummy. And each of the and each of the different rounds has different rules as to what you're supposed to lay down. Say 2 sets, or 2 sets in 1 4-letter word, or something like that. And then after the hand is over, you move on to the next round. Very cool little game. I like rummy style games, and this is a very good one. This is a game that takes a little time to play because it has several rounds. But again, it's a very easy game, fun game. Like the fact that they incorporate using letters and numbers in this game to make it. So number 39 is Trice from 3M. Number 38 is a speed game, and it's called Super Circles. Now, speed games are games that I really enjoy. And typically what you're trying to do is you're trying to match the card on the discard with a card from your hand as fast as possible, and just trying to get rid of all of your cards. But with Super Circles, what you have you have 4 circles, one that goes over the other, and they're all different colors with a number on them. And the way you can match the card is, say you had a circle in the middle that was labeled 1, that was blue. If you had a card in your hand that was a blue 1, you could play it. It could be a pink 2 that is on there as well, and if you have a pink 2 circle, you can play that. So basically what you're doing is you're trying to look at the card that's there. It's got 4 different possible colors, and then you're looking at the cards in your hand, trying to see if any one of those rings matches what you have. So this game can get rather chaotic. You're constantly looking and constantly playing, and sometimes you can just boom, 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 just go all out all of a sudden. So this game changes speeds a lot, but it's challenging because you're having to constantly look at the different colored rings and what you have in your hand. Definitely a fun game, and I'd recommend it. Number 38. Number 37 is a little rummy game that basically is based on words, and it is called Tryversity. Now, if you've ever played rummy, you know you have sets and runs. With Tryversity, you're basically going to be using the cards to spell different words and go out. Now, each of the letters have a different value on them, and you don't want to end up getting caught with letters in your hand that are high value, like say an X, because if your opponent ends up going out and you have like a card that says X with a 25 value on it, you're going to lose 25 points. So what you want to try to do is either get rid of those letters or use those big letters to make your own words and try to score big with those. Of course, you have the Tryversity card as well. That can score you extra points. It's a very simple game again, and it's a fun game. It's not stressful at all, and I like the different bonuses that you can get with it, and the fact that you've got different numbers on each of the letters that give you point values, and you could either get them or lose them. So cool game. Number 37, Tryversity. Number 36 is based off a popular game, and it is called Rage. This is based off an old game called Oh Hell, and this is another trick-taking game. It's based a lot on spades, but it has some cards in there that can change up the rounds. What you're going to do is you're going to receive cards, and I believe it starts at 1 and then goes up to 13, or it goes the other way. But what you're going to do is you're going to bid on how many hands or how many tricks you think you can take. And if you end up getting it correct, you're going to get some bonus points. Now, what makes the game interesting are the Rage cards. There's 5 different ones. One's called Change Rage, which I believe is going to end up changing the trump color on that's set. There's another one that says Outrage, which basically takes the trump color out entirely and just bases the, then the hand is all based on the highest number. And then you've got one that's called Mad Rage, which takes 5 points away from whoever wins the trick, and Bonus Rage, which adds 5 points. So those cards can really make the game interesting, because you may bid 5 and have a good hand, but then someone plays one of those Rage cards. It makes it a lot harder to get those bonus points. Definitely a fun game, and one that I would recommend to anybody who likes trick-taking games. Well, folks, that does it for us right now. Tune in for the next video, and we will continue the top 50 countdown. Take care. We'll see you soon.